His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country, so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth. And that is very much.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism. Those who are coming. I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. Is that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, particularly dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you wear vex that you will struck the whack and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he would have fallen in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commenced the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Your respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they cared. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever.
The judge ascribed unto himself an authority that he doesn't have. When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, doesn't have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. So today, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed or acts carried out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections. It's left with the wisdom of the judge. The next thing is the defendants, the former ministers of the former officials of government cannot stand trial. Why? Under the due process clause that we have in fact, our cases like the Wallow versus Wallow, the landmark case on due process, before you are convicted, you have the right to question the witnesses, to produce evidence in your favor in order to exonerate yourself. These officials are prohibited by law not to defend themselves. And what is the law? The National Security and Reform Act, Intelligence Act of 2011 says, as long as they are alive until 20 years, even if they go for trial and they take the witness and to testify about how they expended the money, when they come outside, the NSA will arrest them also, because they have breached national security intelligence operations. That's why you take up on the level at the level of the National Security Council. The judge erred, and in fact, the ruling went beyond. The team will discuss that. But what we know is that the law already gives us the authority to go on the remedial process when the judge had made a decision, especially on the issue of authority, that he had gone beyond his authority. The judge, the trial court, has no authority. And that is a standard established by the Honorable Supreme Court by years of horror with age, that Whenever constitutional issues are squarely raised, no court of law has the authority to determine and pass unconstitutional arguments beside the full bench of the Supreme Court. Under Article 61 that talks about immunity of the president. 61. No, it's 61. It's 61.
It's not 51.
It's not 51, it's 61. Under Article 61 of the Constitution, the president is immune from all prosecution. The only time the president is not immune from prosecution, it must be certified by condition precedent. What are those conditions precedent? The condition precedents are the president must first be impeached and removed. Any leader in this country who has never been impeached and removed, every act or acts that he conducted or carried out or he assigned to his agents while serving as president, that extension of immunity covers them, and you cannot question those agents. This is the argument before the Supreme Court that will soon be appearing. Whether or not an agent or an advisor of the president serving at the level of the National Security Council, which they are creating the National Security Council, prohibits him that you cannot take the stand to testify on national security matters that have not been declassified. As we speak, the expenditure of the former government to maintain a peaceful transition, the judge ascribed unto himself an authority that he doesn't have. When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, doesn't have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. So today, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed or acts carried out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or certain condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Hey, thank you so very kindly, man, that you are with us again, and we're on another day. What a great day. A great day it is. Yes, great day because God is alive. Great day because He is hovering us. Great day because He has given us the energy, the wisdom, everything to face the reality. Make Liberia better is an obligation, not a choice, not a privilege, but an obligation. So we are on again another day, great day. It's Real Talk. We go real on Kings 88.5. Your info radio. More info, less entertainment. That's what we are, sailing along with innovation, evolution, just everything. I'm Sam Andrews. Great day. We are grateful to God Almighty, the creator and sustainer of the universe, who keeps watch over us. There is the God Almighty. The God Almighty. He is great. He is faithful. He is so great. He is so mighty. What a God He is. Faithful in all His ways, never reneging on His promises, but fulfilling every word that He uttered. What a God we got. We thank Him for keeping watch over us throughout the night and has set us into another day. Hope that you are faring well. We are good, just as you are good. George Barr, Bartnettsville Health Center, you are following from. Asata Miller, Red Light, Roof Bine, Arizona, USA, Blamo Nimlem, Rhode Island, USA, Patricia Brown, Rehab ELWA Community, Silva, Washington, Broville City, Matilda Stevens, USA, Monumba Jogba, Gardnersville Supermarket, Elizabeth A. Thomas, Waterside, Venetia's Bar, says Lou Blackmore, Fifth Kelvin Bappin, Nima United, Mary Tulane, New Georgia Estate, Ibrahim Addison, Siafa Dolo Congo Town, Pankpa Massaquoi, Painesville, Bernard Farm, Benson Devio Victor, from your business center, Willem Va Jr., New Crew Town, Claude de Port, T. Max Willem, District Titan, Nevet Pevet, Morovia, Bappin Paul Lee, Johnsonville, Toller Bowe, Dupont Row, Carfield, Keita Sekou, Mohammed A. Sherry, Sophie Community, Congo Town, Lahai Masale, FDA Junction, Eric B. Smith, Bafte Seminary, Roberts Fee Highway, Aweliti Sedi, Police Academy, Salaye Camus, Johnsonville, Fred Pega, 11th Street, Clady Addison, Delaware, USA, Cogba Weeder, Magibi County, Philip Nangbe, Texas, USA, Divan Farley, Beverly Hill Street, Dinah Dennett, Manhattan, USA, Harris City, Terrain Community, Caldwell, Samuel Colley, Comfort Newton. Oh, you got our man Newton? Nemo. Yeah, brother? Eugene Jogbo, Capital Bypass, Boakat Zodwa, Mecklin Street, Waterside, Papi Eskeita, Dupont Road, Royal Always VAR, Prep Line, Painesville, Kuda Williams. Yes, hi to you, Kuda. Hope that you are faring well as I am. Henry T. To, Caldwell, Mansare Abdullah, JJY Community, Solo Wat Corsia, Gardnersville, New Georgia, Patience, Wisner, Lane Street, Joan Mamalu, Gala Street, your business center, Usman Saul, your business center, Gala Street, Patricia Zia, your office, Ibrahim Kurman, the Keke Man, Gabriel, from your business center, Iron Factory, Broad Street. Aloysius Gapu from the same Iron Factory. That's great. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. I appreciate all of you for coming on. You are so great, so wonderful, so extraordinary. That's great. We appreciate all. Thanks to my man, Ben Johnson, who is in the background, getting everything set. That's great. A radio station is teamwork. One person talked, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons doing a lot more. Thanks to Ben for getting everything on. Sorry, these are some of the things we go through. So we came on a bit late. However, that's it. We got a couple of things going on behind the scene in this terrible country of Nebuchadnezzar. Let's go. Time is of the essence, but before we get started, please, the King Support Basket is open. It's still open. It hasn't been closed. It's been open all through. You are aware now of the number. The send wave 0555 885 885. The local mobile money number 0777 017 885. The send wave 0555 885 885. 0777 017 885. Let's start with developments out of Liberia. Too many things unfolding. Don't get yourself soaked in this politics, the politics of LIB. No, follow, but don't get yourself frustrated with it. Know what is unfolding out of Liberia also. The African Growth and Opportunity Act expired on September 30. September 30. So countries now that depended on that program will have to find alternatives for survival. The government of Burkina Faso has passed a new personal and family code setting the minimum marriage age at 18 for both girls and boys. The previous law allowed girls to marry at the age of 17 and boys at the age of 20, with the code exception permitting marriages as early as 15 for girls. The reform marks a major step toward gender equality and child protection in that West African country, where more than half of the girls marry before the age 18 and nearly 1 in 10 before the age 15. It remains unclear whether judicial exceptions for marriage at the age of 16 will still be allowed. Ethiopia has accused Eritrea of preparing to wage war against it in collusion with an opposition grouping in the latest sign of escalating tension between the two neighbors over control of the Red Sea. Ethiopia's accusation is contained in a letter sent by its foreign minister to United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, warning that the collusion had become more evident over the past few months. Eritrea has not yet commented on the matter, but its relationship with Ethiopia has become increasingly strained in recent months. Ethiopia has been rallying support to regain access to the Red Sea, causing alarm in Eritrea as it took control of the coastal line at independence in 1993. Nigeria's Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Onaji, has resigned after reports accused him of forging his academic credentials and certificate of national service. A local newspaper alleged that he submitted falsified certificates during his 2023 ministerial appointment. Onanji has denied the allegations, insisting that the accusations are politically motivated. President Bola Tinubu has accepted his resignation, but opposition leader Atiku Abubakar has called for an independent investigation, saying Uche Onanji should face prosecution if found guilty. Lastly, Burkina Faso military government has arrested 8 members of the Netherlands-based international NGO safety organization, accusing them of spying and treason. The detainees include nationals from France, Senegal, the Czech Republic, Mali, and Burkina Faso itself. The authorities allege the suspects transmitted sensitive security information to foreign powers. ISO, for short, which provides security analysis for humanitarian organizations, was suspended by the junta in July for collecting sensitive data without authorization. Anthony Giposi is an executive of the accused NGO and will give his explanation to the BBC.
So all of our information collection activities ceased as of the 31st of July. We maintained some presence in the country primarily to engage with authorities to address the first detention and to continue to, for instance, pay our national staff to ensure that our contractual commitments were being met.
Do you understand why some governments, particularly those suspicious of foreign influence or interference, would be nervous about, for example, security information being shared around? I mean, that must be I would imagine, a scenario that you encounter relatively often that you are perhaps prepared for.
So exactly. And I think this comes back to why we try to maintain a transparent relationship with the authorities everywhere we work. In Burkina Faso, we were registered per the local laws with the authorities, and since the incident, have tried to engage with authorities to address any misunderstandings or concerns that they may have. But I think it's important to emphasize that information is critical to keeping aid workers safe. It is what helps when an aid worker drives down a road in a risky country. It's what helps them know what's coming around the corner so that they can take actions needed so that they are not injured or killed. And what we've seen this year is that we've seen the highest number of aid workers killed on record, which only emphasizes the criticality of the type of information that we as INSO and other organizations such as the UN Department of Safety and Security provide to ensure that aid workers are safe.
Do you know how your staff members are doing right now?
We were able a month ago to, through our legal representatives, to have one meeting with some of our international staff in detention. At that point, we understood that their well-being was good, that they were being treated well, that we're able to, so they were being treated well. But obviously, we continue to remain concerned as the detention becomes prolonged, to remain concerned around their well-being, both physically and mentally, in terms of the situation.
And the fact that you're communicating about it now, even though people have been in detention for several weeks, does that suggest you are getting frustrated with a lack of progress in resolving this behind the scenes?
I think what it indicates is there were obviously very public allegations made yesterday by the Ministry of Security that we feel that we need to address, because we feel both it's important to address those allegations to ensure the well-being of our staff, but also to uphold our own humanitarian mandate. We're confident in the humanitarian nature of what we do, and we would like the opportunity to be able to emphasize that.
Do you know when a trial will happen?
That is unknown to us at this moment in time.
And it is, I would imagine, a pretty concerning time for you.
For sure. And again, just to re-emphasize that obviously our primary concern really does remain the well-being of all of our staff in detention, and we're doing everything in our power to address that and to try and resolve the situation as safely and as quickly as possible.
Anthony Japorzi, an executive of the NGO accused by the government of Burkina Faso of covert operation, leaking out information about the government in that interview with the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, this morning. Let's come to Liberia now. The political leader of Liberian People's Party said Unity Party government should now normalize stealing. Unity Party government should now normalize stealing, meaning let it be the normal way of living, acceptable. My dear Virus M, thank you for coming on. Hope that you are faring well. Yes, that's good. You are on Virus M. That stealing should be normalized in Liberia, since the government has absolutely no control, and the government itself is stealing, and stealing real good. According to Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, President Joseph Yeman Boakai, extravagant foreign trips and the construction of a $10 million United States dollars presidential resort in the county he supposedly comes from, coupled with others, a clear conviction that the president himself is not only in the business of usual, but no transparency, no accountability. Hence, let stealing now be normalized. Simply put, according to the councillor, everything that Boakai talked about, everything, transparency, accountability, good governance, no business as usual, everything was a sham. The president himself, hence in the cookies jar, normally enjoying himself. He said all of the trips, and we've been talking about that, that is a major component of good governance, transparency. Mr. President has never, his office has never ever thought the least to come out and give an expenditure of his trips, his ministers. Councillor Gonglo wants that to happen, that the government should prioritize transparency, publish the names of the 23 persons he took to Japan and other places, the amount of money used, because those monies are taxpayers' money. They are the dollars you and I pay as taxes. When you hear LRA boasting of achieving this amount, LRA is saying by this time they will collect this amount. Know where that money coming from, but your money that you pay as taxes. That's the money Joseph Boakai and his people using, and they cannot give account to you. So everything the councillor is simply saying, the president was complete, or the president is a contradiction of everything he said. His hands is in a cookies jar. His ministers' hands are in the cookies jar. On top of it, IMF came out and said widespread corruption in the Unity Party government. IMF, the International Monetary Fund, admitted to a bad system under the Unity Party government, that corruption, the people say corruption is widespread. Corruption is within every facet of the government. It is uncontrollable. Everybody doing their own thing. Everybody. Why wouldn't the president listen? Everything that Bwaka said in the past, truly, you're lucky or not, Bwaka is a liar. He is a liar. Bwaka is not living up to anything he condemned his colleagues of. He's not. He's not living up to anything. The only thing that we can confirm as a deadly testimony, Bwaka going after his opponents, those he considers his opponent. That's the only thing he has achieved since his ascendancy to the Liberian presidency. All of us here is no grudge for the president. All of us see it. All of us know that very well. He has not done anything significant. The same man, the same Bwaka who said, if they keep CDC in power, the country finish. The same man who said that. The same man who said when they keep CDC in power, the country finish. What was he referring to? Corruption. Today, corruption has overwhelmed the very president. The corruption is coming from the president's finger all the way to his elbow. The president is seeing real life that he did not see in his prime, money that he did not see in his prime. He's saying it. So, no need. Let's flow on and just fool them with public addresses. The same man.
Benefit to the country, then you say that country is not going down the ground. This is something that we have to fight.
You're listening to him, oh? The same man who said, when you continue to keep the CDC people in power, this country is finished. That's how he played on you people who are suffering today. You're complaining. You're saying you're regretted why you voted. Oh, yes. Everybody, you're in regret here. Everybody who comes to you, it's because they did not have the one to have. They were seeking the opportunity. They have the opportunity now. Everything they promise you, you see how the country is going. The country is at the brink of falling down. Falling down. You see me how going? Yeah? And you see me? That's how the country looking right now. The country is just a few inches away from falling down. Everything chakla. The man who said, when you get a country, when you continue to keep these people in power, many CDC people, the country finish. Yeah, the man he in power now. The country, the country going down the hill. Legislature overwhelmed with corruption. We can hear spine again. We can hear spineless. We can hear all those names. They say the country economy is still in the septic and they are unable to take it from the septic. That is an acknowledgement of ineptitude. Corruption everywhere. It has inundated or filled every ministry. The man who said, the president who said, when we are in power, the country finish. Yeah, LRB today honor him.
It's not about a party. It's not about an individual. It's a concern that we should share. And I'm very happy to see Liberians in the diaspora who are coming back. I met with a group. There are no time in your life that you have faced a problem. You keep these people in power, I say again, the country is finished.
Yeah, you keep these people in power, the country is finished. So they in power now. He there as the boss. What is he doing? He enjoying, he greasing the country money.
Keep these people in power, I say again, the country is finished. You have faced a problem together as a nation. This is the time. You keep these people in power, I say again, the country is finished. You keep these people in power, I say again, the country is finished. I say again, the country is finished. It's not going to be through war. Power, I say again, the country is finished. It's not going to be through war, but these people are determined to loot this country to the ground. I say again, the country is finished.
You're listening, oh? When you keep these people in power, the country is finished. Not through war. not through war, but they are prepared to loot the country. Look at the time he said it and look at his reign now. The first thing when the man got, do you know that Bwaga has not given account of the money he went and gave to the Toyota victim, where that money came from? Do you know that that whole inauguration, they have not given a clear understanding yet? He covered it up by protecting Miata family. After they had a messy situation, he covered Miata family up by saying she organized an excellent inauguration. Beyond there, from that point, all the way look at all of the events associated with thousands of dollars. Have you seen one accountability, a single? Then from that period to where we are now, look at all the trips that he has made. Look at all of those events. Take all of the reports that came out from outside of the country, from other people who are not Liberians. Take all those reports, put them together. Where Liberia is, where we are right now, the country is at the brink of collapse. The country can no longer hold. Individual ministers, directors, assistant ministers, assistant directors, they are stealing because they don't know about the future. What is happening to the country? The country is bleeding. The country is at the brink of collapse. The country has absolutely no transparency, no accountability. Everyone is up for what they can get. What are they doing? Looting. That's the same thing. He was giving a prophecy at the time he did not know. Oh, let me tell you, there is something called reversal prophecy. That means when you're saying it of this person, that is your attitude, but you're using somebody so they will see that person as the one who has the bad attitude. Only when you get there, then they get to know that what's happening. What we see? Corruption all over the place. The country, the guys are looting. Nothing significant has happened. In just under 2 years, nothing significant has happened for this country. You are a testimony. You know that. You are a witness, rather. Here is a man. He said they will loot the country. What do we see happening? Looting all over the place. Stealing. Broad day stealing. So Councillor Tiawan Gongla said, but let's normalize. Let us normalize and localize all of the lies. Let's normalize stealing. Let it be the normal. Because there is nothing now you can tell us, Mr. President will be convinced. You say all those things against we are administration. You're talking about widespread corruption. Yes, we saw corruption in we are government. Those things that you're talking about, we saw it. And it is based on that the people went and voted for you for a change. Now you people came in as the change, but you're doing the worst 3 times then what we saw in we as administration. So let us normalize stealing. Let everybody just steal anywhere, whichever way they can. The man who talked about persecution, who said that under his government, they will lead by example. He said that. He said they will lead by example. Since then, what do you see? The example is the opposite. The man is the opposite of everything he said. They will lead by example. They will lead by days. No one will steal the public money and go with impunity. If you think we are up for joke, the axe will fall. That's what he said. He said the axe will fall. What do you see? Now, you have to inform, you educate Mr. President about these phrases that he used. He really does not know the meaning of these phrases that he used. No business as usual. It's not an expression for only money. It first starts with conduct. Conduct. If your conduct is not different from the man you condemned in the past, then it is business as usual. The only difference is the time. Because the same thing that you accuse the man of, you're doing it. So you have the same attitude. Corruption Corruption means the intent. The money or the action is the antecedent, meaning the outcome of what you decided up here. Everything starts from the mind. The guys are looting the country in just under 2 months. The World Bank criticizes you. The IMF criticizes you. Other international bodies are afraid. They are skeptical. They don't see good governance. What they see is just rhetorics all over the place, from one meeting to another, and bragging and boasting. Under 2 years, we have not seen significant investor or investors come into the country, what they call in politics potential investor. They have not seen it. What they continue to hear is widespread corruption. Who wants to invest in a country where corruption is uncontrollable, that the president himself is fully involved? Everybody talking about the president, 10 million residential resort in his county, Lofa. We've been hearing people saying that. The Ministry of Information is tight-lipped on that. Anything the Ministry of Information is tight-lipped on coming from the public, that's true. 10 million United States dollars. Yesterday they say, oh, in less than no time, George Weah was building condominium. That 10 million resort over there is the same as condominium. Condominium is just a classified building. That's all. Don't be carried away by the word. Look it up. When you hear these things, look up the meaning of the word. It is the same thing. Condominium simply means a classified building, a special kind of building. So Tiawan Gonglo say, let us normalize stealing now, because under Bouaga government, that normal thing. So let us legitimize it. Let stealing be, let legitimize it. Let it be a legitimate act. Terrible. People are skeptical about the government. Things are bad off. The president himself isn't in control. Do you know that? He's just the president, but he isn't the one in control. No. He's just the president. He's not the one in control. We know that. Disagree. He is the president by election. He is the president constitutionally sworn in. But he isn't the president that has control, that has grip over the running of the country. No, he isn't that person. Few guys in there doing everything. And so there's no way to control corruption. Stealing all over the place. So let's normalize. I think I agree with the Senate, with the councillor. Let's normalize stealing. But the thing, then no secret again, nobody fear Bouaga. No, they know that when they steal real good, the only power Bouaga has is to suspend. You go and sit down after a few times, they put you somewhere secretly, you're working. You're getting your mile. So what's the need? Just make the thing the normal life. You see how God can expose people? Government sweet. When you're saying government, you're saying, even though government is about policy making and all those other things associated with it, but let's put it in the labyrinth way. Government and money, sweet, money. Blamo Nelson, in Ellen's time, I can remember how he described Liberia using the national anthem. He said the meaning of the national anthem is a cake. You get there, you cut your own. He said that what they line me in the anthem, Enjoy, 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 enjoy. Blamo Nancy in Ellie's government. He was defining something happening. They see around the same corruption bill. He said that what the item means. When you get there as government, you cut your cake. That Liberia is a cake. You get there, you cut your own. So he said that what that line means. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. LIB, this country. So Liberia is an elephant meat. You get there, you cut your own. The cake there, you cut. All the beam of these people made. Look what is happening all around. The shame. Can't say anything. That will take me to Eddie Jaulo. Eddie Jaulo, well, sometimes you can see the reality, the truth. You want to be honest with the reality, but you don't want to make your tribal people and other people to look at you that kind of way. But again, you got to sit back and put on that brave honesty and go out and say, Eddie Jaulo runs the National Youth Movement for elections called NEMOD. Initially, when he came, he gave Bwaka. Can you imagine Bwaka just went to Sony Wen? They carried Bwaka to Sony Wen to see Day. Before then, they carried him to Bolivar to charge a phone. From there, they carried him to Sony Wen to see Day. Then from there, where they carried him, they came a couple of areas before Zion. They carried him to Zion. Again, the labor almost threw him down. Beyond that, they saying nothing. Bwaka put nothing in the ground. Nothing whatsoever. We're just flying from here, come back. After some time goes, Eddie Jaulo came out and say Bwaka accomplished 80% of what he promised. Everybody holler. Here. Fast forward. The lid dropped from Eddie Jaulo's eyes. He said he was daydreaming first. After night dream, daydream. So he shook off and said, no, the thing I said, that Bwaka completed 80% of his promises. No, I think I was in a dreamland. Nothing actually happening. Then he came out. That was put him in Wahala now. I think he will have to say something. He came out with honesty. And he and got vexed. The other people got vexed. When you speak clearly of George Weah, you have enemies. When you speak negatives or say negative things about George Weah, you get good friends. Eddie Jaulo finds himself in a terrible situation for admitting, and that's the reality, that's true. You can't take anything away. There's no way you can try to give it the image that it is not. No, a person is just who he is. There's no way you can try to change that person's image to make him what you want to be when he isn't that person. Eddie Jaulo was very clear when he said George Weah. George Weah is the most successful in this generation. George Weah is the most successful. And he stated the reasons. But because Eddie Jaulo did not say George Weah squandered opportunities, George Weah did not show leadership, CDC was not giving a second term because of George Weah lack of leadership, and all those things, because he did not say it, but rather went for the honest admittance. Eddie Jawolo finds himself in trouble. He said George Weah in his soccer career, he was successful. He was named the best in Africa, the whole of Africa. Put all the countries, how many countries make up Africa? Say put all together, successful in Africa. Europe, put all the European countries together. What number will give you? It's successful. He came exceptional. And then put all the African countries, the South American, North American, Europe, put all those countries together, called the world. Eddie Jawolo say, men successful. Then he came to politics. He said in his political career, he was elected as senator of Moserado County, and then went on to become president of Liberia, a feat that nobody since God created the world and Liberia became a country with everything and everybody in it achieved. Only George Weah. That's Eddie Jawolo's definition of success. And what did he say? He asked a simple question, not a rhetorical question, straight jacket question, honest question. What more could he possibly want? What more could he possibly want? Meaning, what is it that he hasn't achieved from down the line, from a slum community, a destitute life, to the highest level of life on the earth? What more? What is it George Weah needs to fight for? Then he said, the third part of his presentation, he said George Weah should be treated with dignity in his country, a VIP. Not that though, the fourth part, well, don't tell anybody this. Says the fourth part of Eddie Jawolo, or the conclusion. Yeah, what he said, that build a monument honoring this outstanding son of the land, meaning the government should build, the country should build a monument memorializing George Weah legacy in its totality. The last one, that got a man in trouble. They started hanging on him here and there. How he is this, he's that, and he has taken money from Weah. Weah has given him money, and Waka is not doing. They start saying all kinds of things. I even want to name some of the people that hung on him because I will be elevating them, but we know them. The man said, now is the time to build a monument honoring this outstanding. These are his words, not Sam Andrews' words, not King's FM words. These are the words of Eddie Jawolo. You can call him up. He will even say more than what I'm saying. I just took listening to his presentation, the most significant one, and the rest of it, fine. Because that's what it is in news. You take up what you want that is most significant to you. The rest of it, it can be history. So he is calling for a monument to be built honoring the legacy of former President George Weah, from the slum to affluent life, from slum community to affluent. What Eddie Jawolo is simply saying in summary, it takes a consistent, a focus-driven, determined person with God's blessing. Hear how he concluded. He said, no politics here, just the facts. No politics here, just the facts. Meaning, I'm not trying to give it any political attention so you guys can say, oh, it's because of politics, he's trying to gain favor from George Weah and George Weah people. He say, just the facts, speaking about the reality, referencing what it's it. If you deny or you're not too comfortable with the facts, check the facts and see whether you or not have the same facts. Let's move on to what is, or the ANC, the Alternative National Congress, the war of words between the Alternative National Congress and the government of Liberia. The government is intolerant. Unity Party government is intolerant. Most of the people are just not tolerant. It is bad to think that people should worship Joseph Yema Boakai. That's how they're portraying it. Say nothing against the king. If you say anything against the king, you will be condemned. They have created the atmosphere and put Nebuchadnezzar robe on Boakai. That's how they have portrayed or they have presented him. You dare criticize Nebuchadnezzar those days. You dare. Nebuchadnezzar had everybody bowing to him. He was the president of the day. In those days, they will not say president. They will use the word king. And the king was a political leader. The king was not a religious leader. The king was a political leader. The king had nothing absolutely spiritual. He wasn't a pastor. He wasn't a prophet. He wasn't an evangelist. He wasn't anything. The king was a political leader, purely within political administration. All of his decisions those days were political. So you either agreed, you survive, or you don't agree, you die. Worship is where you suppress, you renounce your essence of value, no rights whatsoever, and then you place everything into another person, and that person determines the course of event. It was from Nebuchadnezzar saying that the Machiavellian theory came about. Might makes right. Might, the power, the force, the ability. They determine the course of action, the pace of it, and on and on. So you either subdue it as per their dictation, or you are punished. Everybody had to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar. They were worshiping Nebuchadnezzar. So if you agree with Nebuchadnezzar, then you are not condemned. It is that same atmosphere that it is today. Don't criticize Joseph Yema Boakai, which you are entitled to as citizen. Jeremy Pia and Daniel Sando will come up against you. So that's how, do you know that followers or advisors can create a dictator? Do you know that Most of the building up or the creation of a dictator comes from the people around the president. They turn the president into a dictator. And we have a bad system or a bad culture. We have a patronage culture where everybody worships the patron. The political patron is the president. You dare say anything or express your opinion, then those two guys at the Ministry of Information ready. Daniel Sando and his boss man, as usual, in their quick to get vexed self, quick to get vexed, quick to show that temper tantrum. Alexander Cummings expressed his opinion. And that's the essence of democracy. Must we be at war? Must we have guns killing each other? No. We should have, which we do have, our intellect. And politics is all about the issues. It's all about policy. And the policy is assessed. And that assessment is done by people critiquing, as giving their opinion. They are citizens entitled to it. If they cannot exercise it, if the government will not allow anyone to criticize it, to criticize the government, and criticism is not insult. This is where, again, you have to wonder whether these people who claim to be educated, they understand simple words. Criticism is not an insult. Criticism is an expression of an opinion. You express your opinion. It is critique, meaning sharing your thought. The guys don't want anybody to criticize Burger. How possible it is that you, as a public official, no one should criticize you? Then you aren't a leader. A leader accepts criticism, is open to criticism, and he or she picks up a couple of things from it. Ellen, one year, people say all manner of things. What did Ellen do? One day Ellen came up. Ellen said, yeah, leave the people, they're entitled to their opinion. All of these things help us. It helps my government. I take decision based on some of the things that are here. And that's how she made it clear that some of her decisions come from what she reads in the newspaper, what she hears on the radio. So everybody, the woman can listen to the radio. The woman can listen to the radio. I think, yeah, I would try if I know it'd be too hard for me to get because it's been long. Yeah, it's been long. She used some kind of expression, colloquial, and it was on the radio. So when she used that, everybody, but the woman, how we can say in laboratory, they say, the woman that Zorro, that data, meaning he can flow along that line. The ordinary people. The book criticized we are here. These same people, Jeremy Pierre was in America writing all kinds of damaging articles against we are sending it to radio stations here and other people. We know that. They'll get on the radio station in this country where we are reigning and say all manner of damaging things. We are never reacted. None of his ministers who serve as information minister reacted to this because that's democracy. You allow the people to flow. It's one of the key ingredients of good governance and attracting the international community attention when you are tolerant of people's view, when you are tolerant of opposition views. In this country, we see opposition as devils. And that is why our democracy will continue to just look too elementary, reckless, irresponsible. When people come from other countries, our lawmakers and the politicians and other people, they can just look inferior in the eyes of the people when they're talking. Because everything, once you are in government, everything that coming from outside is wrong. and everything that coming from inside is right. Is it normal? It's not normal. You have to be tolerant. You have to be open. God who created the world. People criticize God. God was open to it. God did not smash anybody because you disagree or you criticize him. What kind of, this government is too elementary, too petty, too tiny, too mediocre, too mechanical, stooping so low. Every little thing they react with cursing. The same Pierre, I would say every day because I was in a press conference when Pierre came. Pierre sat down over there. He and Kula Fofana, they said that the Ministry of Information will not be the usual ballistic, bombastic Ministry of Information. It will be more refined. They will not do the things of the past. They will not be reactionary. I say, okay, oh, this too is Liberia. We're willing to see. What happened? You see how it looks? Even previous administrations, the Ministry of Information was far better, mature, refined, too elementary, too petty. No disrespect to Pierre, for Pierre of his status to sit down there and allow Daniel Sano to be doing that, reducing the Ministry of Information to causing ministry. ANC had a news conference today. Their boss man gave the Youth League the authority to speak. He blessed them to go and address the issue. They referred to Cummings as dwarf. And they say, just as he shot, so his mentor. Listen, Cummings is mature. George Weah is mature. Musa Ability is mature. Simeon Freeman is mature. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is mature. And we can go on with the list. Mature politicians, they don't stoop so low. They don't go too petty. That's why you don't hear them responding to Daniel Sando and Jeremy Pierre. They see their boss man, Joseph Yoma Boaka, as not even at their status. It's not because he is the president. These guys would not stoop so low by dumping their good character into the mud to react to Joseph Yoma Boaka. So the beginning can do it. And that's how you reduce people. That's how you bring the clown, the fool of them. Don't talk yourself. Let your beginning do it. You know how amen. They refer to you. Then you tell your beginning to go react to them. It's the meaning to Pierre. It's the meaning to Boaka. Because the reason they can get on those guys' person and character so that they will react. And they're getting tired with Weah. When I told you that they were targeting Weah, they were picking at Weah, and I told you that I like Weah Star. I like Weah Star every day when I go home, I look at that line, James 1:19, and say that we are here. God help me to be the same. They try all the way. They did everything I know for Rock of Ages. You ever saw we are reacting? We ain't said nothing. The best and easiest, simplest way to kill the clown in a person is by silence. They tire. They can't say anything about we are because they try all kinds of way for we are to say something. They bring it this way. We are ain't said nothing. They kind of say, oh, the other one. Then yeah, we are voice. Nothing. I mean, we are mature. We are mature. Listen, if we was like some of these politicians that we see here, the country upside down. We is truly the exact character of James 1:19. Be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to anger. Going say you might not get vessel. He said slow to anger because he made us in a way that anger is part of our nature. But he said restrain it. And when you can restrain your anger, what happened? You kill your opponent. The greatest, most sophisticated weapon against your opponent, your enemy, is silence. Yeah, we are talking. Look at all those things that they did. They're trying to draw we are. We are say are smarter than you. I've been through terrible things in life. I've seen what your own boss man did not see. I've gone through things that your own boss man can't go through. If he ever try, or if any one of those things befall him, he will not be alive. So I'm not a timid character. I'm not intimidated. No, you can say all manner of things you want to say, whichever way is up to you. You give me one event that people said something, the government, Boga himself, Pia, Daniel Sano, all the people that we are keen to respond. When you see these people talking that their own thing, we are not get done. Having Wizagan, he had a press conference, he said what I want. The other person kind of have. We are against them. We are not get done. The best way to silence, to kill the clown in a person, or to bring the clown out in a person for everybody to see, is silence. Don't talk. Now I go say, leave it. When they get tired talking, they will shut up. So the tired where we are now, they tend to comment. They succeeded against Senator Edwin Snow. Just one attempt. Edwin Snow got scared because he has warm skin. Warm. You know, warm, WORM. Warm skin. So he withdrew. Then they turned to Musa ability. You saw what they were doing, Musa ability. And because Musa ability had an occasion in the county, and Musa ability talked about the vice president wanting people to fall prey to him. He has to stop. It was during the election of this Samuel Koga. And what did he say? He said he would face up to the vice president, that enough was enough. From that day, they started. And Musa ability is strong. It's strong. When the police saw Musa ability, police they racking it. They say, let's pause on a man small. Coming scam. They say, oh, okay, let's bring out the gating. We're describing Pierre and his men, they can plan it. Say the man shot as dwarf. So the man begin again. I say, okay, no problem. So we'll not get jitter. We'll bring the fool of you people. We'll not get jitter. Not at all. They gave a news conference today. They gave a news conference explaining, reacting to that. They gave a news conference, ANC, the Alternative National Congress. So let's go. Let's get the introduction first, then we'll bring on the Secretary General. Let's have the introduction.
Today at the Ministry of Information, when you cause man cause, they eye your salary on. When you cause power cause, they give you promotion. This is the moral ground that the president has endorsed at the Ministry of Information. When these people cannot challenge us on the facts that says their exception, nothing has changed. And we've been unbending with that assertion that nothing has changed since President Bouaka, the 42-year experienced president, came to power. They do not have responsibility for us, so they will rather cause our mind, cause our power. For us, we will not cause mind and power. What we will do will continue to tell the Liberian people the truth. Therefore, the push of our party, the Ministry of Information should be explaining government policy. The Ministry of Information should be telling our people what has changed. But there is nothing to say. So they will curse you, they will say you tall, they will say you short. But unfortunately for them, Mr. Kumis is taller than President Bouaka. If short people can see, I see why the country is like this. Because everybody in the room taller than the president. So you see the results and revert to innuendos because they do not have debate.
So let's bring on the Secretary General now. The Secretary General who presided over today's news conference. Yeah, what the SG had to say.
The Alternative National Congress strongly condemns the reckless who should be the Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism against our esteemed political leader, Mr. Alexander Bello Cummings. In one of his recent alcoholic outbursts, PR described Mr. Cummings as a dishonest man, a statement that exposes not only PR's desperation, but also his abuse of public office and constant drunkenness. As a supposedly information minister, PR is constitutionally mandated to provide truthful, factful, and transparent information to the Liberian people about the actions of the government. Unfortunately, instead of honoring that sacred duty for which he's collecting fat salary and huge benefits from taxpayers' money monthly, the loose talker has reduced the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism to a political attack center where lies, propaganda, and insults against political opponents that his position requires dignity, integrity, and accountability, not buttered and semblance of diarrhea of the mob politics. His daily habit of verifying critics of the Bouaka administration has brought shame upon the office he occupies and the already failing government. Rather than peddling lies about Mr. Cummings, we challenge the straight dog of a minister to face the truth and inform the Liberian people about the real crisis confronting our nation. Crisis that the United Party-led government is failing measurably to address. One, on the economy. Under the luxury-driven President Joseph Numa Bouaka's leadership, the Liberian economy has collapsed into hopelessness.
Tell you, you will not know the economy collapse because you 1.7 million cars. Tell you.
Prices of basic commodities, including rice, gasoline, transportation, and even drinking water, have skyrocketed beyond the reach of ordinary citizens. The cost of living is unbearable, while salaries remain stagnant or unpaid in some cases. Even more shameful in the fact that the exchange rate has dropped drastically, yet market prices remain high. This clearly proves that the problem is not the exchange rate, but the gross mismanagement, incompetence, and lack of economic control under the Bouaka administration. While the Liberian dollar strengthens on paper, the Liberian people continue to suffer in reality. Businesses are closing. Civil servants are protesting daily, either against bad labor practices or low wages. Investors are fleeing. Job opportunities have disappeared. The government's lack of fiscal discipline and poor leadership have plunged our people deeper into poverty and despair in secretive deals, such as the questionable procurement of the 82 yellow machines, about which the propaganda minister continues to remain silent. If Pia truly serves the public. He will explain the bidding process, the source of funding, and the beneficiaries of those contracts, not divert attention with political insults.
The response from the Alternative National Congress to the Minister of Information, Jeremy Pia, and his deputy, Daniel Sando, for referring to Cummings as a useless, not serious man, short as dwarf, so is his mind then. Chelsea King, Emmanuel Broad said, I agreed 100% with Councillor Tiawon Gonglo that Bouaka and his UP government should simply normalize stealing. I had posted on Facebook a write-up about the same stealing before you quoted him. Cecilia S. Yakpawulo, Liberian people help Bouaka to get rich. Shadrach Flomo said JNB and his raping government will destroy this country. Philip Nangbe, Mr. Pierre had individually liked Prophet Key on payroll during the CDC government. Now he's intolerant. Kogwe Widow, Bouaka is a complete contradiction of himself. He and his gang of thieves are stealing our money from every sector of government. Prince Coleman, GMB government means nothing to this country. Trust me, we will be in mess for the next 4 years to come. Matilda Stevens, useless government. Matthew Cholople, I am so disappointed in most of those so-called Liberians who said they are educated and they allowed this old man called Bouaka and his criminals to use them and gave them power. Why? What a shame. Nothing Liberian people will get from Bouaka government. Spencer Mohammed said, my concern is the form and manner in which Joseph Bouaka has legalized corruption and looting of our state coffer. Liberia is bleeding under this squanderer king. Sad time for Mama Liberia. Where is forbearance? Forbearance. I think I should have that. Forbearance said under he said the country was on a sick bed. So which bed it is on now? Forbearance. We are time. You used to say the country on a sick bed. The country is sick. So where it is today. And he wasn't elected. ANC booted him out. So he goes on spoon talk fighting hard to get Unity Party recognition. 4 times he ran in District 9. He can't win. Andrew T. Nangwe, Bouaka is a complete contradiction of himself. Slobot Perry, Slobot. Bukari is a big rogue, including his gangsters, and their rebel government will continue to fail massively throughout their 6 years. Philip Nangwe again, Mr. Bouaka is a chronic liar. Cecilia Yakpawulo, Burkina Faso government is very strong. No-go zone. Okay, thank you. So continue to write. We'll read it if we have time. Let's go on the other side of it. And we are out. 0772-2399-33, 0777-9803-75. The King Support basket. Before we get to the line, let's remind you, the King Support basket. You're dropping small thing inside. We left you with the basket during the weekend. Today, Wednesday. That you're taking care of that basket. So you're dropping small thing inside. Eugene Jobo, my man, you know what's up? Drop small thing in a basket, Eugene, my man. You know what's up, brother. Let me give you the number. 0555 885 885. Oh, okay. Eugene Jobo, you in Liberia. So here is it. 0777 017 885. Eugene Jobo, that number there. 0777 017 885. You in Liberia. And you know what's up, man? So that is there. Drop in a basket, Eugene Jobo. Let's go to the line. You don't want to stay long on the line. Just go straight to the point. Hello? Hello? You went on, Chief. Hello? Hello? You are on the air.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Which is Sabato calling for Jikotan Ria.
Yeah, I know Sabato. Let's hear you.
Thank you so much for what you've been explaining. Andrew, you will not hear that talking. You know, the whole warrior, why somebody do, they not know about it, don't talk about it. Today, the light of the Unity Party, the light off. You can talk again. Nobody hearing talking. Yeah, it feels about all over and around. That man said he was regime government. Look at the bill they do. I went on after because that rejecting my bill. You reach away, you confused. I tell you all the president always. I tell you things. Let God bless you. Thank you so much.
Okay, what's
everything in front of God.
Yeah.
Everything we have nothing to do, but we're talking to God that let it go 2029 and see what will happen.
Yeah.
In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. Amen. Hello.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Damon Badi. I call you from District 4, So Clinic. Yeah, we appreciate you that for the talking point. But you know, the country has collapsing daily, on a daily basis. Because the people, they feel that they could control the country. We are. But now the country is collapsing every day, brother. So we appreciate your wisdom. Not only keeping the country now on peace. So that God bless you all and bless our dynamic president.
Amen.
Judge Manawia.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Say, you know what I was trying to say? Better go say the rabo.
Well, when you call, you're not one call your need. It's not so much of us. The other people, and the other people, listen, different people can come on a show. So when they don't hear somebody talking, they need to, and I know people can come from different areas. They just put the radio on.
Okay. What I was saying is, me, I'm not educated, but you never see me sending in public to insult. When the day now we made them to go represent the country, that will cost where it used to be. The two of them, they are not disciplined. They are not trained. And saying I want to say, me, they be like, I can't cause in public, but when I finish causing man, say you be fever.
Oh,
wait, man,
you can cause man?
Oh, maybe they cause my black diamond again. Say, I will insult.
No. Again, so you say you can cause man, Elder Kazo. So out of politics.
That will cause. Why is it? We take you, put you over there, that kind of far place. Every day you dream about somebody that you already pick up. The man is no longer with them again. While they worrying over the people, and they know their folk can't even reach to him. They know they can be that man, but therefore, that minister is very rude. One day I went broke because they were upon my land. Standing, the children were facing the road. They put the road down. That man reached and just called the people road. and he passed on. I'm talking about the big man.
Oh, Jerry Limepia.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Very,
emotional.
very disciplined man.
Jerry Limepia is very emotional. Quick to get vexed.
So why the king can't say and Birabo? Let it be said Birabo, then to say he also say looking at them. Yeah. And so thank you.
All right, Elder Council. Have a great day. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Andrew.
Yep.
My name is Prince. I married to play. I do trainings on Baglevan had yesterday. Let me say thank you for the topic discussion, Mr. Andrew. I have a lay recommendations to the chairman for the groundbreaking with fanatic cover. We are kind of asking them to please send the t-shirt. Yeah, if they are selling the t-shirt, but we are on this. I want to watch the t-shirt to cover that they wear uniform. So I'm kind of asking that if they can fix it to Man City, then someone can quarter out to buy the t-shirt.
T-shirts?
Yeah, for the groundbreaking sell.
They say they're selling t-shirts?
I overheard that from some my guys on internet. I only print that from t-shirt.
No, I don't know that one. I don't hear that one.
Okay.
But the press conference you listen to by the chairman, Fanatic Cover, you didn't say anything besides what your friend told you?
No, I don't got that.
So anything you hear from the chairman himself or the people who can get the information people, call publicity people, anything you hear, don't believe it. When they get the information, they will send it to the various radio stations. Then we announce it. So when you hear anything like that, anybody tell you anything, don't believe it, yeah?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, but the people say you can start making your contribution now. So the 18 that is groundbreaking, but you can start carrying your thing that you want to give.
Yeah, I will come down that day. Only will be there.
Okay, all right.
Okay, SCV.
Hello?
Andrew, how you doing, my brother?
Yeah, doing fine. And you?
Yeah, I thank God for life.
Okay.
Thank God to hear our voices when this evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the show, Sam Andrew. So my brother was here calling asking for t-shirt. Sam Andrew is the one salary that is putting their own t-shirt and is selling it. Not the party. So I want you to understand that.
So what is that auxiliary? What's the name of that auxiliary?
I think one girl told me that it's from St. Paul. She got auxiliary group. She put the t-shirt selling the $10 for what they were breaking the building. They saw the machine there. They put on the back. This is the last thing I will have, not in the break. So that's why I want to tell you, so you can do not the party. If you want, you can put your own check. You can do it on your own. But you can do it. If you want to yourself to FIFA, you can do it on your own. But they get pretty t-shirt for auxiliary and they buy it for their cheerleading. That's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So myself, my own t-shirt to the same time with the same way.
Yeah.
So one person t-shirt on your own. Yeah. So it's up to the issue.
Yeah, but before you get to the issue, nobody should go down there in ordinary clothes, yo. Everybody, you wear a t-shirt. You gotta be in the fire.
We'll carry our belly. Our t-shirt will be the whole group. Will be the whole swat. And but will bring the whole swat. But one tell fully put the citizen last our hat. Not in the break. The t-shirt they get printed for auxiliary to $10. Yeah, but I'll be my whole swat. Already, I'll be on Facebook. Yeah, to the issue, Sam Andrew. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
Oh, okay. What I want to say is our the global parable say two dwell on Muidi. Meaning that they play, that the food you can eat. I'm going to cook like me. Now I'm saying, maybe you get there, you say, oh, not say it that way. And I want to say it. They pour in the mess, so they won't eat it. They pour in the nonsense, so they will eat. So when they meet up, I know what they don't want to force he. And they very force it because they don't for money. He went for sexual in America, sexual, the past leadership in this country. He says he went there and pay money to the tax people to sexual leader in this country, in the city government. That cool for you, I mean, that cooking for you. The one he did to us. And you are beautiful feeding them, giving them money to out. To the church here, okay, they carry it to court and say you for your faking document. He was sorting we are here. They were sitting down there while they put in the country. Kumi was there as a bogman. He couldn't say no to that. To say don't do it. Although we are important, but when you saw them, it's a leader, it's a person. So what will one mission in the country. Even the people you got in America are going to bring investment in the country. You'll get to your normal. Say you want one person. You have people in the country that will start working in the country. That's why I get jobs start to be there in the country. But nothing big with one person just saying. So I say, oh, I get it one, I get it one.
Man, CC, you know another place that he messed himself up. The second round when he refused to identify with either George Weah or Waka.
Okay, and we say, oh, and now they put me on Lucho. What many Lucho to say? You said that he was Waka. He said that he was Waka. He just had a force. But deep down, a force is that. They said that when they put do the work, we are getting that for it. When they put on the no, we are getting testy. We are still state. We are also leader of the course. We are man for the work. Even the president book for and the post them in that make fully say a war. So we are to say no, let's see you're doing your puppet. Although we point about it, you are well coming in wrong. That will not do it. They were laughing about the boy, even if you could be on Nana, now go there. So we are one of the something and a woman. They there to her house. So they come and say, oh, he's trying not pay. That was our get up for when the Minapia and Daniel Sano. I'll clap for them. Now when they brought a phone, so where you play, the way you like play Bilabo and you okay. That Bilabo you eat. So even though they play nothing red, they pick it in now. So why you crying? Why they phone get all chest and we right? And they get all chest. Thank you, my son, Andrew. I want to come to the show.
All right, man, CC. Hello.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, go after the Andrew. C'était un parapluie pour Joseph. Mais si c'est effectif. The coming come from America to have a political party. We're expecting coming to stand by a fair ANC.
Yeah, but that one behind us now, that history behind we're talking about what happening now.
Yeah, the insult that insult and coming that Boka they all instructed to the people. You will say that here Boka came to go and lie on you. Just to because you know that you got wisdom, you are educated, and you got mind to develop the country.
And Vic, you know what happened? That Boka testify against Cummings.
Yeah, he testified. I was saying he came to court and testify against him. That play, I said, Cummings, I said no. The people, or even the supporter of AMC, they are listening to me, but I said no. That man is a wicked man. When that man can say, in the mayor from Nima to a big man on telling you about the time. The man, I'm correct, man, now, Captain, that guy, wisdom. So that the people are saying, Cummings, that educated to say no. I will not be part of the mayor. But in part of the man is disgracing. Their second round election, we're expecting Cummings, okay, AMC people, you get your support of President we are. But the President we are doing well. And as you say, you foresaw either when you say Cummings, you from the way there. Okay. When you say, okay, your President we are, when the former President we are, even President we are win. We know that you support the President we are. And anything, President we are to a second chance thing. Is it when you and what for the party? We're not going to be you. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. I've been attempted 2 times, but after I go off. Thank you very much. I'm Spencer Thomas, and I call for my Popo Corner, Down Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community. Mr. Andrew, firstly, I want to condemn the Minister Jeremy Pia and Daniel Sano for the habitual act of insulting the leaders of our country. In my mind, history will judge them. But howbeit, there is a common saying that says, train up the child in a way that when he or she is big, he will not depart for it. Jordan Yuma Bwaka trained over the last 8 years to insult dealers. And under him, Joe Bwaka, he legalized the insult of dealers. That's why we are seeing all of those things. That's why we are seeing all of those things unfolding under his naval leadership. And I also want to be thankful to ANC, the Secretary General, for him to allude to what we have been saying all the time, that this government is grossly incompetent. So for them to join us today to checkmate this government, I want to tell them, thank you. General Mayor, join us. We are fighting for the future of Mama Liberia. Joseph Nima Bwaka is looting our coffer. The report for IMF and all international agencies about Liberia is damning. Join us, let's fight to protect Mama Liberia for going down the drain. Thank you very much. But the act on this guy is very unfortunate. It must be condemned and condemnable. But George Baga is the one that gave birth to it. And history will judge it. Thank you very much for always giving us the opportunity to make our input on national issues. Thank you.
Hello. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yep. Change your location. You're cracking. Your line is cracking. Change your location.
I said, this Peter Karam, calling from Township of West Point. You getting me?
Yes, Peter.
Thank you very much. Look, we're not sorry for Ben Kume. Kume, then they the same people that are trying to mug our president. We are in this country. I'm a secret man. Like, what are doing that business?
But the main idea is not on comments. You're just going on comments for nothing. The people who came, they say they know it all. They get all the good idea that the people stooping so low, so cussing. You're just getting on comment for nothing. The people who say the rescue people, who say the information ministry will not be like how it was under Joe Weah. That the people showing that kind of behavior. So that way you people should direct your anger at PR and his men, not comments.
Okay. We already know PR then. We already know PR then. PR then they are liars. We already know where the ministry. This person, we are not doing what they're doing. And they go there and say they want president from there and move president we are from there. And they there now. No, go ahead. Let us finish. How long? 2 times for an hour reach. The way they will like go there alone. We'll put it out there. Thank you for that one.
Thank you too for coming on. Hello. Hello.
Oh my God. Machine. Me, I just going to ask them. They say they bring a machine now. I want to jubilate all around. They say the machine now can't yellow machine.
Which machines now?
But
you say the people they say you see any machine?
But jubilation all around and we are going to I can't see it.
But you see something somebody says that you don't see it, then you say we are also we know. We ain't see anything. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Samaju.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to the peace officers of local country. Well, Samaju, my name is Muhammad Bonda Fufana Jr. And I do join the conversation from the Samadu job. Well, Samaju, I just want to appreciate you, I call it this evening, I really appreciate you for how well done, for our people and for the country in large, I always enjoy you. I enjoy how you do the analysis. Thank you, Samaju.
Thank you too, Donzo. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, this is Edmund Carr, and I'm the visually impaired that keep this one prepared to the fire to the lawyer in case they fire. Hello. It is very difficult to pinpoint worker. We said it, times with all the number. So when you try to cover it off, times will come, the supporter of President Weah and the various media that are flagging the issue for the Liberian people, you'll be forced to come up. So that is the guy that just released he gave his own kind of opinion about President Weah. That is the fight. That is the truth. That is not politics. And this is why we have said to the ruling establishment, if only you get to realize this, better it becomes for you. Because you think why Grandma Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, when she was president, she took President Weah along with her to go appeal to the international community for death waiver. Why? Why that happened? After he's standing with the prince of the Middle East, taking picture with him as the general assembly. You know who's supposed to take you there? The President Weah. We have so many opportunities from out there. But this opportunity was given to President Weah. If he takes his second turn, some of these things could have come to fruition. But say you told over you are the God unto yourself, you don't want to work with him, you don't want to see him. So we say kudos to him. We hope they will listen, we hope they will not go back to their information ministry and begin insulting him because he has said what is just true. Africa, Europe, the world, everything happened the same time. It didn't happen one after another. It happened the same time. So that's President, we are right there for you. And we are proud of him. This is why we support him. Gonglo? Yes, yes, right. What I just normalize it now, they to just boring us with words, you know. We are persecuting, we are suspending, we are sending them. LACC is investigating corruption. That's crap. You know, so what you do now, just normalize it. Let everybody just take what they can take, and everybody just live their normal life in corruption. Because the guys are taking onto themselves because they don't show 2029, and they don't also show a black guy continuing his plan. So the uncertainty around the black government is a serious issue. So this is why you see all of these things going on. So we say kudos to you. And never later ever. They are speaking up, and we hope they will not revert to their ministry again to jump on the one Gonglo. And they're coming. No, we are not talking about coming. We are talking about our institution that we are paying our taxpayer. That they are reducing. That's what we are talking about. We cannot take our tax.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yep.
Yeah. I say la information minister there put an agenda to do the job. That is the way they get to la name or the calling who think they work that.
Oh, you going off, my dear. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sam Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Peter the Council cover under the street light in Lower Johnsonville. Thank you for the fascinating discussion. I think Mr. Sam Andrew Center have just articulated the real information about we are and to this particular current administration and that of the government, and that of the Liberian people. Currently, we has achieved all the international and that of a national and accolade. So what we are is only concentrating on is what the betterment of the Liberian people. That was the message that were articulated and about sent out to the government of Liberia. I think they need to have that particular message in good faith. And that's the purpose of us from us. And even though we hear from Lofa, that's why we support. We see the true reconciliation, national development, and national transformation, and in we are. That's why we remain unbending in his support. And when it comes to corruption and the Jerry Gongo, let me tell you, just like Yuma Buakan has already endorsed and legalized corruption, not just formalized it. Because he went in Lofa on family meeting, he articulated to the minister that they can corrupt and about they should use the money in this particular country. So what you expect? Corruption has become a culture, and practiced by Jota Yuma Buakan himself and his official in power. They are the ones that are looting the economy. That one is clear. There's no argument about that. And lastly, let me appreciate the guy for ANC. I think the opposition are coming together. Is that only the issue is that only level CDC, ANC has woke up. You see how they defeated and
okay, Chief. You've exhausted your 1 minute.
When you come into power with a think brain, you feel that there are people. Why you will come measure IQ on the
Chief,
height?
your 1 minute done.
Come again?
You exhausted your 1 minute, my man.
Yeah. You see where I'm going now? It's compared. Kumi is taller than Joseph Mabwaka. So when Joseph Mabwaka is short, that's why you see a short brain to govern the country. That's why the country is epic.
Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah. Toba Flomo calling from Firestone. You know that Jersey break that medal today. If you look at freedom man gain power, what you do, you will see and get it home. I mean, a complete freedom man. You are Liberian, you get good heart for the other Liberian. For the man, can you say Liberian for like he's telling you that you're not Liberian? So thank you.
Thank you. You did extremely well. Yes, I appreciate all of you great people. Thank you all so much for spicing the show. The Ministry of Transport, headed by Senator Alex Tyler Breda, Ralph Tyler, released a transport fair, they say Central Region, between Mangibi and Bon counties. Morovia to Wheeler, $200 on boats. Morovia to Wheeler, $500. Morovia to Ba, $300. Morovia to Tutota, $400. Morovia to Salala, $400. Morovia to Banga, $600. Morovia to Phoebe, Cottington, $1,000. Morovia to Belafona, $1,000. Morovia to Kokoya, $1,800. Morovia to Jawa, $1,800. Nima County routes. Morovia to Saniquele, $2,000. Morovia to Gumpa, $2,200. Morovia to Ban, $2,500. Morovia to Yekepa, $3,200. Morovia to Logatua, $3,500. Morovia to Zedru, $4,500. The Southeastern region. Morovia to Zedru, Granjide, $4,500. Morovia to Fishtown, River G, $9,000. Morovia to Harper, Maryland, $9,700. Morovia to Greenville, Sino, $6,000. The Western Corridor. Morovia to Buchanan, Grand Bassa, $500 on boats. Buchanan, Morovia to Buchanan, taxi, $900. Morovia to Rival Sports, Grand Cape County, $700. Morovia to Vonjeman, Lofa, $2,000. Bots. Morovia to Vonjeman, $4,000. Taxi. Morovia to Foya, $4,000. Morovia to Colahun, $5,000. The Lewa counties. Bombing County. Morovia to Bombing, $600. Morovia to Ba, $550. Bon County. Banga, Morovia to Banga, $900. Morovia to Bon Mines, $750. Morovia to Salala, $750. Morovia to Felela, $700. Morovia to Todota, $700. Morovia to Wiala, $900. Morovia to Zienzu, $900. Morovia to Batala, $900. Morovia to Swakoko, $900. Morovia to Phoebe Cottington, $1,400. Morovia to Belefanan, $1,400. Morovia to Palala, $1,400. And the list goes on and on long. So that's it. That's it. That's it for that. The transport fare. They coming out with Central Morovia. Central Morovia fare. Adjacent Central Morovia. The fare is out soon. But it doesn't do anything when the transport ministry releases the transport fare. The drivers, most of the drivers don't go by anything from the Ministry of Transport. They do what they want to do. They charge according to what or how they want to. So most times the fare regulation from the Ministry of Transport really does not take any effect. It's just on paper, because there is not the practical mechanism or ensuring that the taxi drivers, the keke, all of those in the transport sector adhere, because you don't have that kind of system. So if you came out and say from Broad Street to Douala is $70 in taxi, and the driver says 100, you'll be constrained to pay the 100. And one of the reasons for that, the passengers don't have options because the cars are not many. Commercial cars are not many on the street. The non-commercial, they overcharge. And that is why most people don't take that risk with commercial, with private vehicles that go commercial. A fare that a taxi would take for, say, 75, that commercial, non-commercial private vehicle running as commercial will request 125, 150. We've seen it. That's why most people don't like. Even most of the taxi drivers, they overcharge. They want more money. They exploit. And that is one of the reasons why they are not really making money. The keke have driven those guys off. Across, no, very, very few taxis you see across. Almost everybody prefer keke than taxi. You find the taxis flowing in Cinco or row because the kekes are not running on that side. If the kekes are left to run everywhere, guess what? The taxi drivers will get out of business. The government introduced buses. It was just a morale. Nothing. It's not even helping. Get on the road. Just do a simple observation. Put it to test. Doubt me. Get outside. Check the various points. You still find people in their 15s, their 20s, their 25s, their 50s scrambling for cars. So you want to ask yourself, where are the buses? Well, the same thing they criticize. They say, oh, all the buses were running out of town. The same thing. Transport buses, the National Transit Authority, you hardly see the buses doing the route. No, they are. So the people constrained. You see the sour is jam-packed, fighting for keke. They're taking shortcut. They will come to Freeport and then get in another keke, or when they are opportune to have some kind of lift, they take advantage of it. So all these things won't work. Okay. So let's break, man. Let's break for a while.
I therefore urge you, my fellow citizens, to continue to be law-abiding and seek peaceful means to resolve differences. Embrace tolerance and dialogue. Let us love one another and come together as one people, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Through our time together, I have testified to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the rule of law. As you are aware, Liberia, for the first time in over 7 decades, experienced a peaceful transition of power when I assumed the presidency in 2018. Tomorrow, we will witness another historic moment as I hand over the reins of government to my successor, President-elect Joseph Nima Boakai. I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. On the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC.
George Manning Weah, standard bearer, Congress for Democratic Change / Coalition for Democratic Change, former President, Republic of Liberia, global icon, returns to the presidency. George Weah goes down in history like other presidents who served one term, return to the presidency. There is no impossibility attached to it. There is every possibility that it is going to happen. It is a foregone conclusion. All of the factors are not only clear, but convincing. Rest assured, nothing and nobody can stop that from happening. Though it would not be on an easy path, but it is possible. George Manning Weah returns to the presidency 2029. It sounds like an illusion. You think it is not possible because the other people are on the other side saying all manner of things. Moreover, you will put on the fear that because they are in power, they will do everything within the power they got to hold on, to even go to the extent to rake. That will be a misguided fear. They can do nothing. Our society is enlightened. The system is an open one. The elections will be free, fair, transparent, and credible. Nobody will cheat. The government of the day will not cheat because there will be no reason to cheat. And that no reason, the margin, it will be a gulf. George Weah returns to the presidency 2029. The election will be competitive. All of the players will play. At the close of the day, the rest of the players will be given a red card for exit. George Weah will be handed the trophy, which is the reign. Absolutely nothing and nobody can stop that from happening. With God hovering everybody and not interfering with the politics, but keeps his providential care over every Liberian, George Weah wins 2029 elections. If you are supporter of George Weah, you are a member of his party, the Congress of Democratic Change, friend of the party, friend of George Weah, you need not harbor any fear, but be upbeat. It will happen. Liberia is about to witness another turning point in its governance process. The signs or the comeback that you've seen with other countries, Liberia isn't exempt from those comebacks. What that means is, just as it happened for other African presidents, whom the people said, or the ruling establishment wasn't coming back, wouldn't come back, would not come back, came back. We have several examples, but the clearest of all on the African continent, Peter Mutharika. He did serve one term. He was booted out. He comes back to contest. The people said he wasn't going to become president. They did not need him. He had a bad economic policy. Under him, the economy dwindled. Under him, there was soaring prices and on and on. But at the close of the day, Peter Mutharika was handed the reign again. George Weah will be the same. The people of Liberia will hand George Weah the reign. At this point, development, unprecedented development, Liberia will have entered into a reassemblance of modernity. When a leader served one term and did significant, unprecedented progress, and that there is the mishap with cheating, the National Elections Commission aiding and abetting corruption, with the creation of a mystery carrier, and that could not even prove any much of a difference, as we saw the margin. It tells you that George Weah, with every possibility, all of the factors and all of the signs real and evident, returns to the presidency, and development will be beyond unprecedented. You want to look back over your life as Liberian under the CDC reign, George Weah. In just under 2 years, compared to Joseph Yeman Boakai under 2 years, George Weah under 2 years, the country was talking about infrastructure development. Under Joseph Yeman Boakai, the country isn't talking about unprecedented development, rather nothing. Under George Weah government, they were talking about progress. Not that the government was perfect. No, there were imperfections. But in the midst of those imperfections, there were perfections. And those perfections were referred to them as infrastructure development. George Weah had to grapple with series of protests. Before the week comes to an end, there were 3-4 protests from these people in power today called Unity Party. Did not have much of a time to do enough as he had on his agenda. Comparatively, Joseph Yeman Boakai is not experiencing protests of all kinds. Joseph Yeman Boakai is having a free atmosphere, yet nothing is happening. I am not convinced 100% that Joseph Yeman Boakai can do the unprecedented between now and 2029. With George Weah not having the burden, he is in a pole position to galvanize, plan, tour, speak to the people, and sway opinion back onto him. George Weah got all of the factors working in his favor presently. Along the way, there's going to be fluctuation. We are aware of that, but we will keep the advice, we'll keep the courage. As I said, it is not going to be a walk in the park, and George Weah himself knows that. And that's why everything that is happening against and for, they are unfolding in the soonest time. And that is good. That is one of the positive signs. All of these things, God allowed them so that George Weah can have ample time to do a recollection and get ready moving forward. Nehemiah building the wall, it wasn't easy. He was knocked down, but he wasn't broken. George Weah is knocked down, but not broken. The political knockdown, people whom everybody expected will have stayed with George Weah. They went running out. And they did not run out because they wanted to run out. I feel in my spirit that God allowed them to run out. God pulled them out. Because God doesn't remold you for a new future with the same bad people around. Part of God's molding of a person to undertake a task at a new time, he has to weed out bad people, underminers, betrayers, all those attitudes, he has to get rid of them. God does not remold with the same people around. And so I find it joyful and comforting that those guys left early with the announcement that Weah is not. You got jitter along the way, but it was God's working. Today, they are out. Some of them said they want to be president. So you can see why they said those things against George Weah, because they had an hidden intent. And God had to expose them, and that's how he does it. So they come out and say they want to be president. In essence, God is telling you by pushing those people out that they had always had hidden intent. They had always been jealous. Why this man is president? If this man became president, then we can become too. People, everything points to George Weah returning to the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. Unity Party knows that very well, and they know that they face a formidable foes in George Weah. They know that they cannot withstand the heat of George Weah. They know that George Weah commands between 70 to 80% of the people, even more than that. George Weah's popularity has not dwindled. George Weah's morale is enhanced. George Weah got all of the characteristics, and George Weah will return. As I leave you, yes, the last part. George Weah isn't campaigning. The Congress for Democratic Change isn't campaigning. Campaign hasn't opened. The National Elections Commission is having series of thematic forums or meetings about 2029. But the government is campaigning for and on behalf of George Weah. Unity Party is campaigning for and on behalf of George Weah. Along the way, you will see. That's it. Weah returns to the presidency 2029. Thank you all. That's all the time we've got for the show. We're back tomorrow, if God permits. The news is on at 6, King's Newsroom. Join us for it, please. And then at 6:50, Isiaka Sharif is here with CDC Hour. And then at 8 o'clock, The teacher himself is in, the only teacher of the land, the light. Anthony at law, A.B. Wynn will face the issues. Thank you for being with us. Take care of yourself. Don't forget now, the basket is still open. The send wave 0555 885 885. The local mobile money number 0777 017 885. The basket is with you. We've left the basket with you. You controlling it. You can only tell us that it is filled, then we can look at it. But we're not looking at that basket. It is in your care. You take care of it. Thank you. We're back tomorrow.